I'm at 7023 Martha Road, and I believe this is Anderson Township, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Um, what we're looking for is any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Apparently there was some issues in like 2016 with the sewer main, and they have added a grinder pump out in the front yard, and then in here they've also added a raised clean out to give it more height in case of anything. I'm assuming they probably added possibly a backflow preventer also. There is something that comes in high, which is what I was kind of wondering here. There's a Y of something that's coming in high. It could be some storm, not 100% sure, or it's an overflow. But this is the only access as far as interior, and so we'll be going from here. This is PVC, and then we'll be going straight out, and this may be the bar sink coming into it. I believe it is, and that's what the Y is. So I'm going to run some water in here, and we're going to see where that comes down. But it should come back through here. We'll be able to rinse the camera off also. There we go. It should start moving here. It takes a minute sometimes for it to go all the way through the trap if it's been dry. Yes, and so where it's dropping in right here, that line dropping into the vertical is just the sink, bar sink here. So I'm going to try to rinse this off here, but it doesn't want to rinse off. There we go. So we'll run some water. I don't know, this is looks like a Y in there from the right. I don't know if the storm is attached. But I may be going upstream, which would be kind of strange. I'm going to go see if I can get a little bit of water on it so I can do this here, but it may be a good thing if I can go upstream. That's kind of what it looks like, is that I've gone upstream. And so I'll push back and we'll be able to get the interior of the pipe inspected too, other than the fact that I'm pushing up through some stuff, and that's where that Y was coming in. I'm going upstream back into the house, so that's good. Able to inspect that, and if I need to, I can run water in the downstairs bathroom to rinse the camera off for when I pull back. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So we'll push as far in as we can. And then I'll run some water, we'll rinse that camera off, and then I'll be able to see as I pull back. It should be right around in here. It's probably the stack. And so yes, it does look pretty nasty, but there's nothing strange about that. For some reason, the PVC tends to do that because nothing really sticks to it, so it kind of builds up a little bit. I'm going to run some water real quick in the bathroom and rinse the camera off. Okay, so close the toilet and we're just letting it run. Letting it escape. A lot of times on interior lines they're flat, they're bare minimum, so a lot of times you'll have like an 1/8 of an inch per foot drop, which is minimum code. bit of bubbles there. And so we'll just start pulling back so you can see that. That way we'll be able to see some of the water following us. There's also the sink running in there too. And this all looks good. See how the water's picking up and it pushes up in front of the camera lens. But we can see as we pull back that there's no structural issues. There's the Y. And we should be getting pretty close to the clean out, and then I will have to try to flip the camera and get it to go downstream to go out. So right now we are vertical in the clean out. So I'm going to try to get it to okay, and there I think now I am running downstream. We'll be able to go, should be able to go all the way out. I'm going to rinse the camera off here a little bit. We got something on the front of the camera that just does not want to come off, huh? I'm going to go ahead and flush that back toilet again, and hopefully that rise in water will help. Just have just enough of some like moldy stuff that's in the it's attached to the side of the line that does this. There we go. I think we finally got it. There we go. So we'll continue pushing out here, and then we'll hopefully get a little bit better look at it when we pull back. There we go. Okay, and there we are going into, that is the pump. It's like a lift station basically. This fills up with water, and then it turns on like a sump pump, and then discharges it out into the sanitary main. And so this is all gravity fed here, and this is all in good shape. It's fed, basically it just is gravity where it feeds all the way out to that crock or that pump system, and then it discharges this, or discharges from there out into the sewer main. Now that pump, that crock, is all owned and should be owned and maintained by the Metropolitan Sewer District of Cincinnati. So it's not the homeowner's responsibility. There is an alarm attached to it, which if there's a failure at any point, as far as if the pump fails, it will alarm just to notify the homeowner to call for repair. And they also should come out periodically and do testing on it to make sure that it's functioning properly, so that they don't, have a backup in the house or anything like that. This is the interior piping, and then should be getting ready to come right up into the vertical, clean out. And here we are back into the reel. So the line looked great. Nothing really to mark at all. So the line looked great. No structural issues. Line, obviously we ran a bunch of water through it. Everything is escaping properly. The line is functioning as it should. I am going to pause the video, and we're going to try to make a move, and I'll try to continue the video for the outside portion, which it is owned by the Metropolitan Sewer District, and they would maintain it if there is any damage, but obviously we want to inspect that line to make sure that as of right now we don't have any damage. So I'm going to pause the video, and we're going to make that move. And if anything happens with the recording between now and then, we'll just have to start another video. But we're pausing here, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. Okay. So, I moved outside. We're going to go through the MSD clean out here. There's actually two access points. One, I believe, is just for the pump. As far as there's one here, and then there's one right back there. That is that metal plate, and it is underneath the landscaping blocks. And so what we'll try to do first is we'll go down to the bottom. We'll try to go upstream and see how this looks going upstream here. And it should take us right into that other clean out, which it will right there. And then the pump actually pumps out and drops down into this. And so, and actually if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you can see the angle of the camera. I am pointing straight up. So this is where the line discharges. This is where that other clean out is. And so what happens is that pressure is discharged out and then drops into another gravity line. And so it comes out most likely at the top of that clean out. And then it rushes down when that pump discharges and comes out through this line. And then is back to gravity once it exits that pump. So now we are going downstream from the same spot here. The footage is going to be a little weird now because I paused it and moved the camera and everything. But if we don't find anything, then all that will be moot. So, alright, we've made it all the way to the main. You can see it's an old concrete main, and so assuming what had happened is that it had some storm issues, because this is probably all combined, and when the line surcharged from having too much storm, it backed up into the houses. So they've added a pump here so that basically you have a stopping point other than a backflow preventer, to where if it does surcharge, there's a float in this line. It looks like it's gotten pretty high. The float is about not quite halfway up the little monitoring stick, but the pump will prevent that. the pump will prevent it from backing up into the house, which is good. And then if the pump ever fails, as far as it's not discharging, and then it might fill up the pump or fill up the pump well, and then eventually back into the house, that would also alarm, so that you could have it repaired before that actually happened. The whole system looks great. The lines look great. They're in great shape. No issues at all. And so that's good news. It looks like it's all functioning the way it's designed. And if there were ever any other issues from the pump out, then obviously that would be the responsibility of the sewer district anyway, and that's why this was put in to begin with. So everything looked great. So that'll end the inspection at 7023 Martha Road in Anderson Township.